Read into Math Lesson 13.2. Read and write decimals to thousands. I can read, write, and represent decimals to thousands. Spark your learning. A digital caliper can measure the lengths of objects to the nearest thousandth inch. How would you read the measurement shown? Describe the place value of each digit. So we're going to do word form first, and then so the word form we would say two, and then the decimal we say and then you kind of cover that up. Then we say that as a whole number. So how do you say those three numbers together? Okay, stop. So 500. 83. And now I'm going to say my place value. Now that I have that whole number in there, I'm going to say my place value. So what is 3 places past the decimal? 1,000. Now you have to make sure when you go past the decimal to the right, you add a what to the end? A EHS to make it a decimal form. Okay, then they also want us to do the place value of each digit. So we have 2.583. Did you guys see how I left some spacing there? So that gives me a little bit more room to write, okay? Remember how yesterday they kind of had the chart? Okay, that's kind of what we're going to do. So the 2 is in what? The ones. The 5 is in what place value? Tenths. And then here's kind of our decimal right here. Let's kind of do it like that. Okay, the 5 is in the what? Tenths. The 8 is in what? Hundredths. The hundredths. And then the 3 is in the what place value? Thousandths. And sometimes if we still struggle with our place value, what could we also get out to help us? Our math folder, right? Build understanding. The Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt originally stood 146 and 609,000 meters tall. Write the height of the pyramid in the place value chart. Then represent the height using words. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and use the decimal to help me put it in the correct spot. Okay, so 146 and 609,000. Okay, so basically I'm going to cover up with my hand everything to the decimal and to the right and write that first, right? So what is that if I cover that up? What is the number to the left of the decimal? 609. To the left of the decimal. 146. So I'm going to write 100. Then when I get to the decimal, what does the decimal say? And. So and. Now I'm going to cover up everything from the decimal to the left. And what does that number say? Without telling me the place value, what does that number say? 609. And now what place value am I at? I'm 3 past the decimal. So thousandths. So I'm going to look at this last. I'm going to look right here at this last place value. So thousandths. Letter A, do the 2 digits that are the same in 146 and 609,000 have the same place value? So no, because the first 6 is in the ones place value and the second is in the tenths place value. Letter B, since the digit in the hundredths place value is 0, can you write the decimal as 146 and 69 hundredths? Explain. So we said no because the place value would not be the same if you move that 0 out. Now if it was at the end, could you get rid of it? Yes, but when it's between numbers, no. Okay, letter C. To write 146 and 609 thousandths in expanded form, find the unknown numbers. Write the expanded form of 146 and 609 thousandths. So we would write 1 times what? What's in the 1 spot?
1 times 100.
Okay, so 1 times 100, right? And then we're going to put parentheses around them to keep them together, okay, guys? Plus 4 times, what place value is the 4 in? The tens, right? Plus, okay, 6 times, what place value is the 6 in? The 1. Plus, then we have a 6, right? 6 times, what place value is the 6 in? The 10th. So we write that 1 over 10 plus, and then now this is where you can either put the 0 if you want to, or you don't have to because it's technically not holding a value. But we're going to go ahead so that we account everything. So 0 times what place value is that? Hundredths, right? So I put 1 over 100 plus my next number I see is parentheses 9 times what place value is that? Thousandths. So it'd be 1 over 1,000. Number 2, in building pyramids, Egyptians left a gap between the stones as shown. Would a grain of soil that measures 5,000 millimeters fit inside the gap? So they basically said that the gap was 5 millimeters, right? And then they're saying the grain of sand was 5,000. So that's how you write the gap, and that's how you write the sand. So let's say gap, and this represents the sand, right? Complete the expanded form of each measure. So the gap would be what? 5 times what place value is that? So we use fractions to write it, right? You can also write it with decimals, okay? So that also represents 1/10 as well, right? Okay, the grain of soil, or we said sand. Oh, yeah, it should have been soil. Sorry, guys. So 5 times what? What place value is that? 1,000. So you can also write it this way in decimal form. And let's go ahead and write soil here to be accurate. Okay, so how does the value of the 5 in each measure compare? So 5/10 is how much larger? So we have the 5 in this place value and the 5 in this place value. How far are those apart? 2 jumps, right? So 2 jumps is what? 100. Now, the first one listed, is it bigger or smaller than the second one? Bigger. So it's going to be a whole number, not a fraction, right? So 5/10 is 100 times 5,000, right? So can a grain of soil fit in the gap? So yes, because the gap is 100 times larger than the grain of soil. Check understanding. Number 1, a digital caliper shows a measurement of 13 and 28,000 inches. Write the word form and expanded form of the number. So word form, so I'm going to pretend like I don't see anything from the decimal to the right, right? So how would I say that? So 13. I hit the decimal and it says what? And, okay, then I don't see anything from the decimal to the left. What does that say? 28. And then I have 3 place values after the decimal. What is it? Thousandths. And remember to have the THS. Because if I don't put the THS and I just put an S, then that means we're on the left side of the decimal. And are we on the left side of the decimal anymore? No. Okay, expanded form. So I'm going to write each number I see, right? Okay, so the first number, I'm going to put a parentheses. The first number I see is 1 times, what place value is that? 10, because it's in the tens place. Into parentheses, plus, parentheses. Next number I see, 3 times 1, because it's in the ones place value. Plus, I see a 0, I'm going to go ahead and put it. So 0 times, what place? 1/10, because it's in the tenth spot. Plus, parentheses, I see a 2 times what place value is that?
100.
It's in the hundredths. Okay, listen to what I'm asking. It's in the hundredths, so I'm going to put 100 plus, I see in parentheses 8 times what place value is that in? Thousandths. So I'm going to put 1 over 1,000 for 1,000 and put that in the right place. On your own, number 2, reason what decimal has 1/10 of the value of 8/10 and 10 times the value as much of 8,000? Explain. Okay, so 1/10 of it, would that need to be a bigger number than 8/10 or a smaller number? Smaller number. So your 8 is in the 10th spot. So to get it to be smaller, where does it need to be? It needs to be in the 100th spot. So we'd have 0.08, right? Okay. Now, if you want 10 times as much as 8,000, does the number need to be bigger or smaller?
Bigger.
Bigger. So you would move the 8 from the thousands to the hundredths, one spot. So would that get us 0.8?
Yep.
Or 0.08? Okay, yep. And then we basically just explained that as we talked it out, right? Okay. All right, number 3, use structure. Complete the chart for the number 352 and 78,000. Okay, so they already put the number in the chart for us, right? Let's go ahead and continue expanding it out. So this one would be 7 times what? 100, right? This would be 8 times 1,000. So then we're going to go ahead and write it out. So 5 times 10 is 50. 2 times 1 is 0 times 1/10 is 7 times 100 is, so I would write 0.07, right? Okay. And then the next one I would write 0.008. Okay. How would you read the decimal shown by the digital caliper? So we're going to write it in word form. Okay. So am I going to use the word and? No, because there's nothing in front of the decimal, right? So I'm going to say 700 90 99, and then how many place values do I have? 3. So that's what place value? 1,000. Okay, write the number in standard form. 25,046. So how do I write that? 2, 5, comma, 0, 4, 6, decimal, and then 9,000 is what? 0. Oh, hold on. So 0, 0, 9, because it's 3 places past the decimal, right? Next one, I have what? 9. What's next? 0, 2. Now I'm at my decimal place, right? Okay, what comes next? 0, 5, 6.